Hi, I'm Amanda Olson from intimaterose.com, and this is the frequently asked questions about the yellow temperature therapy wand. The first frequently asked question that we get about the temperature therapy wand is, how is it washed? It is washed with mild soap and warm water, just under tap water in the sink, and then pat dry with a towel. If you are wishing to use the temperature therapy wand for cold therapy, you can place this wand into the freezer or the refrigerator. It can be there for anywhere for a few minutes to overnight to several nights overnight. And when you go to use it after it's been stored in the refrigerator or the freezer, you'll simply want to wash it again with soap and mild soap and water and pat it dry and then use it. If you're wishing to use it for warm temperature therapy, you're simply going to hold it under warm tap water. You can hold it under the warm tap water for 1 minute to 3 minutes, and the wand will retain that warmth. The temperature therapy wand is never to be placed in the microwave or into boiling water, and that's for the integrity of the product as well as your safety. Always test the temperature of the wand on your forearm or on your abdomen first to see how the temperature is before introducing it into the vaginal or rectal opening. Either end of the wand can be used in the rectum or the vagina. It's always recommended that you see a pelvic health therapist to help address the pain that you're experiencing. One of the recommendations that I always make to patients is to avoid pressing any harder than you would use to check a tomato for ripeness. So the same way that you would check a tomato for ripeness in a grocery store or in your kitchen, that's the same level of pressure. We never want to squish the tomato, so you never want to push so hard that you would crush a tomato under the pressure of the wand or a finger. Another frequently asked question is, should you use lubricant? And the answer is yes. You should use a water-based or a natural oil lubricant. So a water-based lubricant or a natural oil like fractionated coconut oil, avocado oil, those kinds of things can be used. And you can use anywhere from a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. You can always put down a towel underneath while you're working with your wand. I always recommend that the first time that you're using the wand, you adjust to how you use it by getting a nice, easy, steady breathing and introduce whichever tip you'll be working with right at the opening. So whether it is the rectum or the vaginal opening, you're going to work on your breathing, have plenty of lubrication on the end, bring it right to the entrance there and get a sense for how that feels. And continue to breathe, and then you can introduce small increments initially as you're working on how it's feeling. If you know where your tender points are, you've been working with a pelvic health therapist and you know where to go, that's wonderful. If you haven't yet identified, I do recommend that you use the long, slender end to gently introduce it into the opening and then gently sweep through all the way around the clock. So if the opening is a clock, all the way around the clock to identify areas of tenderness. If you're using it vaginally and you imagine that the opening is a clock, where the upper part is 12 o'clock, that is where the urethral tissue is. I do recommend avoid pressing too hard on that tissue as it is very sensitive, but you can in that way be sweeping it gently through. I have many other videos on how to use the wand for different types of pain, including tailbone pain and other forms of deep vaginal pain on our website at intimaterose.com. You can also always email us at support@intimaterose.com, and be sure to follow us also on Facebook or Instagram for more educational videos.